Oops. Chat. Oops. Gosh, I can't click it. Oh, wow. Okay, I did not know I could do that. Can scrunch in this. Actually, what I can do is I can go like this, and then I can bring the panel down this way. OBS has gotten a lot different. It's gotten a lot different. Let's tweet this out. Share, copy. What's up, Captain? How we doing? Thanks for tuning in. I didn't even tweet it out, so I appreciate you checking. What you up to today, Captain? Just chilling? You working? You building? You mining? What you got doing? Okay, I'm trying to set this up. So this is obviously one of my first streams that I've done. So I don't know how it's actually, how it looks. I don't know how it sounds. I didn't have enough time to get it integrated into Twitter as well. So we're just on YouTube for now, for today. But got a bunch of phones kind of taken apart. We're going to put them into Cellhashers and kind of get them up and running. I have a couple of my employees at Cellhasher are off. You know, they're buddies, so they actually have a wedding that they're going to. So they're driving a couple states over for a wedding. And we need to get some stuff done. So I'm going to jump in and get back to doing what I used to do, building out these phone farms. You're doing good? How are you doing, though? Thank you. I'm doing good. I'm enjoying it. Summer's coming around. You know, once you get through the winters here, it's a little bit better. I'm up north, so way up north. All right. I need to get testing, so I'm gonna sit in this chair, and I'm gonna really hope that you can hear me, and that I'll be able to work from that chair. I don't know, to be honest. I really don't know what will happen. But put this cord here. This over here. Got a lot of stuff I gotta get going on. Actually, I can pull this a little further this way too. That way it's not as far from me. Oh, reading the chat's going to be a challenge, though. I didn't think about that. I can put OBS on this monitor. Okay. Now I can read that way better. All right. So, what I'm working on here is, I guess I'm gonna have to lift up this whole unit, right? Gonna be working on a reverse. Oh, it's midnight by you? Oh my. Well, thanks for tuning in when you should be sleeping, huh? No, sometimes chilling in bed's good. I like to go to bed early, but normally that includes me just laying there for a while before actually falling asleep, sadly. So many things, right? But we're running in a reverse, so unfortunately the camera's pretty far away. But it kind of helps as like a test dock for a lot of these devices. So it's just really easy for us to get things going from there. I wonder if I can move the camera closer. I'm going to attempt that really quick. attempt that really quick. I have no idea what we're seeing. Oh, now I'm clicking stuff that I shouldn't be clicking. Okay, that ain't bad. That will work. That will work. Solo mining, GPU, Raven coin right now, and Helium IoT. How's Helium IoT doing for you? I'm curious. I have a lot of my devices that are not up for Helium IoT, that is. Besides Varus, what am I mining? I'm mining a lot of Cubic. That's kind of... I have a little conviction for Cubic. So I don't know. I've been stacking Cubic. It's kind of got a bigger FDV than I would like. And it's kind of... It's not as like new, so like a lot of people are mining it. Meaning, when I say not as new, it's like hit holy smokes, 0.07 HNT daily. I might have to get a lot of mine back up. I was gonna convert mine to crank, so I took them all down to put flash crank software onto them. But I've been so busy that I haven't got around to it. But I've been mining a lot of Cubic. Normally, I recommend mining stuff before they get on the the mining calculators, and Cubic's been on the mining calculator for a bit now. So that's where I'm at on that. So mainly, you got Varus there, Cubic, Acroast. It's been a big one. That's testnet though. So like with testnet, we don't really know like what it's earning, so we're taking kind of a risk on just making sure that we have devices up to obviously stack Acroast. I'd like to hopefully be like a liquidity provider for Acroast. That's been a main source of my go-to in crypto has actually been liquidity provision, because it's healthier for the ecosystems that you're mining, and then everybody kind of wins, but then you also get, it's almost like more residual income because you can collect off fees when you provide liquidity most times. Sometimes there's like AMM, automated market making, that works out pretty well. Yeah, the Wingbits and GeoNet one that they have together, that's not bad. I actually have an old Wingbits at the house that was grandfathered in, so it's just like a USB with a Raspberry Pi and an antenna. So that's what I have for Wingbits, which thankfully got grandfathered in. And then GeoNet, I've had GeoNet for almost 2 years now. That sucker's been absolutely cooking, like outstanding. They've done great work. It's very reliable in terms of like I don't have to monitor it. Like it's very hands off, which everybody wants hands off. Sometimes I like being busy sometimes, so like actually doing stuff. But yeah.
This is healthcare calling. Is it okay if I get you checked in for your appointment?
But let's see, can I turn
Are you still there?
gain down? I don't know how that works.
Can you just verify your last name and date of birth?
You have a phone destroyed with a display.
And
Any solution? Yes. So I have a phone here that it's not like a broken screen. It's not like a cracked screen, but it's a broken LCD screen. Like the screen doesn't work. So what you're gonna want to do, right? You don't have USB debugging. Here's the thought process on that. You're gonna want to get a phone that is roughly the same model that has a screen that works. You're gonna replace the screen temporarily so that you can get USB debugging enabled, set everything up, then you can take that screen off, and then you have access to that because it's already then accepted to the computer, and then you can manage it through the computer. So get a working screen, or just buy another phone of that same model that has a working screen, temporarily swap them. And even if you wanted to like buy something and return something, you might be able to do that and kind of get away with it. But that's unfortunately that's the workaround for it. There's some people that I've heard that they said they've been able to use HDMI cords and natively pass the screen on. So sometimes they'll have it on start where you turn on the phone and you can plug in from the Thunderbolt or the USB-C to an HDMI and pass the screen off to another screen temporarily. But I don't think that's enabled by default most of the time. Can I make custom software which runs mining software directly? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, if your phone's like rooted, you have like full control of the kernel. So you could flash an operating system that you create directly for mining onto them if you can root it. Okay, so no HDMI. Yeah, so you're going to want to get another phone with that has a working screen. Swap this LCD screens, and then you'll be able to power it on and accept all this stuff. Then you can take off the screen, and then you can mine with it from there. The custom software thing is really cool. You just got to root your devices. We do have a set that we test on for rooted devices that don't have screens. It's not rooted, bootloader locked too. Yeah, so definitely your option is you need to get another phone that has the same screen. Then pop that screen on, do all the ADB accepting for the computer, get it hooked up to mining. Then what you can do actually is when the screen's off, make sure that in the settings there's an option that has ADB disable authorization. You want to turn that on actually, because after 7 days, a phone naturally, if it's not connected to the same computer, will clear those keys and make the computer request again. So if you don't have a screen, obviously, you don't want it to request again because you wouldn't be able to accept it. So you want that setting to be on, and then I would enable wireless ADB as well. So then you can connect to it over an IP. And then you can screen mirror using like a screen copy. So SRC and then screen copy. And then you don't need a screen, obviously. But yeah, if you hop into the Cellhasher Discord and you kind of talk about that, I'd be more than happy to help you and walk you through that. Wayru just went down off a cliff, right? Yeah, dude. Wayru was pretty hyped. And I believe, from like my perspective on it, it came at a wrong time. Like Wayru was kind of doing exactly what a few other companies were doing with their networks and their mesh networks. Wayru is the mesh like Wi-Fi network, kind of like what Helium did, roughly, right? I could be wrong. But yeah, so I'll share my screens that don't have, or a box that doesn't have screens on it. So this is a unit that doesn't have screens right here. Runs less watts, and so I mean it works. It's just a little more extra stuff. Also, what power supply should I buy to power on my phones directly without a battery inside? Yeah, dude. Oh yeah, no, for sure. Like you can totally do it on your own. Get a 5-volt output power supply. Plus or minus 10% of that, depending on the phone you have. Like you might have to have a variable power supply that can output like anywhere from 4.3 to 5.25 volts. And then you're gonna want like you want to follow the 80% rule. So you want to get like a 200-watt power supply, even though you're only going to be using like 100 watts or less, depending on like if you're doing screens or no screens and stuff. So any 5-volt output 200-watt power supply should do the trick. That's how I would go about it. I don't have like a direct link to them, unfortunately, but again, if you hop in the Discord, like we're happy to help you. Like you don't need to have a Cellhasher and we'll help you out. Dude, I can't say. I'm working on something that's more historical. Actually, I'll share a little bit. This is a grid seed miner. This is from 2013-14 era. This is one of the first ASIC miners. It mined Bitcoin and Litecoin. Um, so one of the next things we're working on actually is my other company. We're going to create a museum for mining, much like the Bitcoin mining museum, but we're going to do the script side of things, and we're going to pop up at events, as well as there's a lot of government buildings that are being unused. That would be great for a museum in the future. So laying the groundwork for showcasing the history of mining, of course. Wishing you good luck. Thanks, man. You as well, dude. Seriously, it's super fun. Like, it might be a little tedious, but when you get to working with phones, you get the old GPU vibes, and then when you realize that like the GPU is the phone is a computer itself, and it has a GPU technically integrated. Like, it's pretty fun. Like, you can go down a rabbit hole because there's always new devices that are coming out for phones. There's always different use cases. Like, now there's phones that have X cores or prime cores. So the prime cores are really good for like AI tasks. So I'm getting it. I'm just geeking out right now. That's just how it works.
Alright, tell them Will that you're ready.
Am I doing any solo mining? I do solo mining. I don't have anything I'm solo mining at the current time. Actually, I take that back. Like, I have some like ASIC chips that I have running on like Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin Cash and Digibyte. But other than that, it's just mining. Just right now, it's get as much, hold as much. I love it, right? If you're profitable on your power, even like bull market's okay. Like, we're still kind of in this extended bull market. I don't think we're gonna have a 4-year cycle like we normally do. I think that's kind of long gone, with all the institution stuff. So the solo mining, nothing really at the moment. Oftentimes I'm kind of quiet about that, but I mined junk coin really early. I mined Shia really early, and those did really well because they start on CPU. Yeah, dude, no, that's the fun in it, is like when you can like solo mine and stuff, like you have that chance of actually like pulling it off. So Varus, on the other hand, the ones that mainly people that have phones that run Varus, I am in a capacity where I can solo mine, and it can make slightly more than average. It's just a little more work to have up. It's not that much more work, but I don't run a pool. I don't run my own pool. I don't run my own stratum for it, and I'm constantly flipping my stuff over, right? So when something comes out, I always try to hit it with hash for at least a couple days or a month even. So I'm constantly changing. What are you mining solo on your phones? Are you doing Varus as well? One sec, I'll be right back. Oh my gosh, I am on mute. Wow, what an idiot. Yep. That is cool. I was talking about the SHA-256 solo mining. I do have a box of Cellhashers that are solo mining Bitcoin right now. Likely to never hit a block, but if they do, just the story's cool. Like, I don't even care about the power that they're using. It's like minimal anyway. Total Varus hash rate is somewhere between 5 and 7 at the moment, but 5 and 7 G, so gigahash. I think it's like top 20, I believe, on Varus at the moment for total hash rate. I could bump it up to right around 15. But I have other things that I have, like a bunch running Acrast, at the moment that are only Acrast. And then I got all these phones that I'm building for other people. So, like, it's fun. So I got to get actually working here. So let's start testing these phones out. And, of course, I forgot to grab my electrical tape. That I'll need, but alright. Start rigging up these phones, and what I can do actually is I can show the software while I'm working on stuff. So you have Acrast, so you're running Acrast Lite, I'm assuming, and then you have Varus, but you're using nice hash configuration. That's sweet, dude. How is nice hash for phones? I actually have not tried nice hash. What are you seeing from your end? Nice hash has always been really killer with the way they can, mimic algos and hash power and stuff. So shout out to them. I'm a fan and not a fan at the same time for other reasons. Maybe sometime we'll get into that.
Hello, this is Health Therapy calling back. You said you would get you checked in for your appointment. I'll try back one.
You'll have the opportunity to be able to rent out. Got you. Yeah, that is an interesting take. I'm a geek, so I'd love to have a big server house, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of people will just end up being simple, right? So they'll try to do things simply, just at a smaller capacity. Right, yeah, so it's just doing auto conversion. I was curious if maybe they're mining a few other things in the background. So, like, for example, like, you can mine Cubic and Varus at the same time. Not a lot of people know that. And asterisks around same time. So Cubic has, a downtime period. And in that downtime, that idle period, you can actually configure it in the Cubic miner to mine Varus. Dude, yeah. I believe exactly what you believe. Not merge mining here, only Varus for you. Hey, that's all right. I think that's the more profitable route anyway. I'm just trying to stack some Cubic as well. And I'm just so much of a I just love new things and tokens and mining and crypto. So sadly, sometimes I don't look at it even as a price point. I just try to mine some to have some. Yeah, it's huge. There's so many things. Like, now people are using AI to guess hashes as well. So they're using AI to throw out all of the bad hashes that are predictable potentially, and only have their ASIC or FPGA work on hashes that they think and can guess to be correct in a short period of time. So they're using that now, and the funny thing is people are going to be like, oh, well, that kind of messes with the block integrity or blockchain integrity. But then you think about it, what's all the software that people and firmwares that people are doing? Like, it's no different from that. Everybody's just going to eventually be doing it, and it will be standard soon. So it's kind of like a new development that people are doing. So I'll be curious because obviously it's going to start on BTC because everybody wants BTC, but it will slowly trickle into all of the other mining districts. I'm gonna say districts, but sectors, from the script side of things to the CPU side of things. It's gonna be really interesting. Can you show Tal how to mine cubic and various? I can, not on this live stream though, because I don't have my system hooked up to show. Something broke at work. I kind of like, I don't know if I want to laugh at that because sometimes that's like a good thing. People are like, all right, I get a break. And then sometimes they're like, oh my gosh, it's going to be a crazy day. Welcome, Joker. Nice to see you. Yeah, so, you know, AI to guess is actually massive. It's predicted to be like a 30% efficiency increase. But when everybody's doing it, it'll just be like the standard. It'll be the normal, right? So eventually all the platforms are going to have this baked in. Yeah, no worries, man. Get some sleep. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate your insight. And good luck with your phone with the cracked screen. It's a great use for it. Like, for a period of time, I was buying stuff. I was buying cracked screens to get good deals because sometimes I was able to get phones with cracked screens under $20 USD, which is great. Greater good. What is up, man? Good to see you too. Super exciting. Yeah, we got some Orbix right here actually that are taken apart. We're gonna throw them into our reverse unit, and I think I can actually share my. So we're using the old software. We have a new software that's it's in beta, and this old software is sort of beta too. So there's some hiccups, of course, here and there, but yeah, I'll pull up the software and we'll get cooking. We're gonna set up some Orbix. So unfortunately, I took all these apart, so you're not gonna see me take them apart right now. But we're gonna get them software side booted up and ready to go. And I'll explain it. Let me get this mouse over. I'm gonna set up the terminal. One sec. Terminal. Oops. Terminals. And I don't know what computer is what. Okay, I do know what computer is what. Okay. So what I can do is I can go like this. I can go like this. Let's hop into this computer. And then we'll run some scripts too, because I'll need to run some scripts. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Greater Good. That's the goal. Like, to be honest, like I'm not a salesman, and I didn't think I'd actually do Cellhasher as like a business. But a lot of people reached out, and it worked out because I was looking for something a little bit different. My electric prices, residential, kept getting higher and higher, and I saw phones were kind of neglected, and they're a great piece of hardware. So I'm hoping that it helps other people too. I'd love, and I think the plan going forward is going to be doing a solar route. They're like throwing, all you need is like one panel. You need like a 120 watt panel, 150 potentially, and you can run a Cellhasher, following the 80% rule, right? Because you don't know how much of the sun is going to hit the panel and the battery, but that's the goal. Is everything to run on solar, and then yeah, I'm sure as most home miners would love to have solar installed. Like Red Fox, his solar setup is super nice. Like, I'm not a jealous man very often, but I am definitely jealous of his solar setup. So props to him. I know he waited a while to get that, and he has rules where he can only have so much of his roof covered because of I think like fire hazard. He needs the firefighters need to be able to walk on the roof. I think that's the reason for that. I could be wrong. I don't fully know, to be completely honest. What I will do is I can move this over to this side for now. Wow, I'm really bad at this. That a little bigger. I'm gonna get some of these phones plugged in, and we're gonna go over there. Yeah, it is getting to the point where it's too expensive to run GPUs. Sadly, right? I have a rig, a couple rigs of 4090s that I actually have hosted in Montana with Berkeley Compute, and they do good there, simply because they have contracted jobs for AI, but for crypto it's been pretty rough. Like Salad, of course, was great, but everybody knew everybody was gonna hop on Salad, so it was good for a little bit. But that's the nature of it, you know. You just got to be consistent. You got to stay up, because you never know. Like I think I have a GPU actually right here that we just took out of the unit. Yeah, we're already packing up our other GPUs. I think this is either 3060 or 3070 that we were still running from time to time. But okay, I gotta get to working before I start slacking on this stuff. Turn this. So we're docking our phones for testing at with a Cellhasher reverse. And I think I grabbed from the wrong pile of phones, but it is what it is. And we're going to get this software cranking on these. And I'll try to move the camera so you guys can see me working on this stuff too. I just don't have a setup in the shop. Don't talk to hobbyists about solar. Why? I'm a little confused. You got to tell me. You got to give me some insight. You can't leave me on a cliffhanger like that. Actually, I don't even need the headset. I don't know why I got the headset on. Dude, I got a good laugh out of that, so I appreciate that. But that's good to know. Like, and it happened to hobbyists too. So I got to figure out a slightly different packing solution, because it seemed to be like towards the middle, and shipping is just a little chaotic. So thankfully they're phones, and honestly they're pretty durable, so you just plug her right back in. But yeah, I'm so pumped, and like there's a slight chance that there's a few pivot routes for Cellhasher too. Like obviously this is more of a startup phase, and it's all self-funded, so I have no like backers or anything, which is great in my opinion at the moment, because I can take it wherever I believe is going to be beneficial. And you know, coming from just a mining background, I'd love to potentially create another blockchain for phones that are ASIC resistant. Maybe doing some like quantum type stuff. I need to freshen up on my quantum mechanics and physics. I'm a little behind. I'm off by a couple years. The last time I studied quantum was over 2 years ago. So I definitely need to catch up with that, and then go from there. There's a token actually that is quantum at the quantum level, somewhat quantum resistant. Tide coin. You can mine them with phones, and I'd recommend mining it. It's been out for a while. That one I try to keep. I love the tech part of it. I don't know if it will take off, but going forward with Cellhasher, there's a chance that I would only make a blockchain if I saw actual like RWA, so real world stuff, so real world use. I'm not just gonna make another blockchain to make another blockchain. That's pointless. It's spam. But what Agarest is doing is genius, right? So they're doing a cloud compute network with phones. And that's on scale and on par to compete with Google or Amazon. Because you can do it incredibly cheap. Because again, like each phone is like no less than 5 watts, which is just nuts. And 4, even 3 watts if you take off the phone sometime.
Oh, if you go out and go back in, it'll be available to you. Sometimes there's a glitch. Yeah, positive.
I think I'm gonna have to move my camera here eventually.
Well, it won't change. It won't change to allow you to join the visit, so you have to go out and go back.
Yeah, eventually.
You can, yeah. Is it okay if I ask you questions as we go here?
Just brought the webcam into the shop yesterday here.
Okay.
Did a call on with Adam McBride and Jake Gallen from Emblem Vault. Did a live stream yesterday with them. Is that my wife? Nope. That is not. Might sound like it. Got chatty people here. My wife is actually out for she's out for coffee with a friend and the baby. Yeah, it's a somewhat of a shared space at the moment. No, wife's doing wife things. She's been grinding too though. She's getting into real estate photography and she's really excited about that. So she's probably jamming up her friend, talking up a storm about that because that's her new thing. She's passionate about that, so super cool. Very, very blessed and thankful that she's able to do that and just enjoy herself, right?
How are you doing? You still there?
Dude, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I maybe encouraged her to do real estate photography, so we have an excuse. I threw an I there, so we have kind of a reason to get a drone, right? I love drones, but yes, that is a big thing that I've heard as well. So that is the plan. We do have a drone sitting in the cart right now on an online store. You have 5 drones? What do you have, Joker? And what do you recommend? Mo Wisdom. Crypto, what is up? Good to see you. What's cooking? What are you up to these days? DJI, any brand is good. Yeah.
That's okay.
My brother just, so I'm a brother in the military, and he just got restationed in Alaska. And so he just got a drone, so obviously when he's there, he can do some hikes and whatever and do some recording with that. Oh, it's landmine.eth. Dude, nobody's got the .eths in their, oh, my mic is really quiet. One sec. Let's see. Yeah, I'm kind of talking far away from it. I'll turn it up a little bit more. And let's actually see if I can find a better place for it to sit. It could be me. It could be my mic. Wife and kids are gone tonight, so setting up the Cellhasher. Heck yeah, dude. I'll if you're on or you have any questions, reach out and I'll shoot the breeze with you and
And there you are.
talk game plan for what your options are to run, and
Before your visit begins?
you can get really creative with it. Like there's people that
Yes.
don't even mind crypto and they're playing games and botting the game. Well, botting, but just running multiple accounts.
Let's see.
Kind of like the old
Your last
World of Warcraft days where there was multi-boxing. I was a WoW guy. I loved that. Hey, thanks, Captain. I appreciate it. Have a good night, man. Thank you. I was responding to that chat, every little section. That's why I said thank you at the end, because then I read you're doing great. Keep going. So appreciate that.
Oh, okay.
I need to get a blank Cellhasher also for the other. Yeah, dude. By all means.
Do you want me to remove them for you?
That's the fun part, when you can get into kind of like building on your own. Buying it complete is great because it takes out all the hassle and knowledge of it, but knowing the inner workings is good. And I will say it is definitely cheaper
That's fine.
to do it on your own.
For now.
So the upcharge on our units are simply because of the labor that goes into it.
Okay. Yep, that's
But yeah, I would highly recommend, if anybody's going to do phone mining, just get a normal blank Cellhasher box, or you don't even need to. But just buy phones secondary from eBay. Like, get phones that work, that have like maybe a cracked screen. Like even I even put on Facebook Marketplace, I put like an advertisement out in my area
so just
that I was buying like this version of phone.
pop up as soon as he can.
I was buying this version of phone for this price, and then I'd get people that would message me like, "Hey, I'm selling this phone."
I'm not. No.
Like some people just want quick cash, and I found that I even did this when I was buying GPUs, 2.5, 3 years ago. Still at that point, is I was putting out advertisements on Facebook and just being like, "Hey, I'm buying, and this is the price that I'm buying at." And sure enough, like, you get people who just come across GPUs at like a garage sale, or come across phones, or come across this, or they're cleaning out their stuff. They just don't want stuff anymore. They'll sell at some really good prices. And if you just let time do its thing, like you'll accumulate stuff.
Alright, well, I'll let him know that you're ready, and you just hang tight right
And also, you gotta be careful if you have a wife. You don't want to get too much stuff in the house, so make sure you have a separate space.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good rest of your day.
Otherwise, I might be sleeping with my stuff in a separate space. Okay, let's keep chugging, and then we'll get these onto the software. I do need to grab okay. I'm moving this all over the place. Let's see what I can do. Okay. This should be a little bit better now for audio. It's a little bit closer. I got two desks. I got a desk here and I got a desk here. And normally I have Tanner. My guy Tanner works here, but he's off at a wedding today. You're good? Awesome. Joker, do you play any games with those guys? Sometimes they live stream. Like I see Hawk and a few guys. They'll be playing like CSGO and stuff. Are you one of those guys that games with those guys? Huh. I could have. Oh, yeah. Okay. Right here. was like, I swear I could have done. I thought I did more phones last week. Oh, I see. Yeah. GTA 5, forgive me, is that the one we've been waiting years for? Or is that GTA 6? You need a higher rank to play Premiere? Ah, gotcha. Red Dead was good. I like Red. Consoles. See, I actually did not grow up on consoles, so I always actually bought or played computer games, and I am very grateful because without not having consoles, I would have never got into computers, which led to obviously crypto and whatnot. Okay. GTA 6 is the one we're waiting on. So are you getting ready to play GTA 6? I heard rumors, of course. It could be a bunch of fluff. I heard that there's like potentially a cryptocurrency inside of GTA 6. Could just be people throwing fluff. Dude, I'm jealous. You have your original. What do you have? An N64 or even was there for Nintendo? What Nintendo did you have? Got rid of the Sega Genesis. Yeah. I had an older brother who is 8 years older than me, so I got to play on a lot of the original systems too. He was a '90s guy. Oh, the original Nintendo. My bad. From 1984. That's just crazy. We've come such a long way. Those are so nostalgic, though, I bet. I obviously was not around then, but no, I love that. I'm not a hoarder, but I love kind of keeping onto those things that were superior in your childhood and growing up. Like, believe it or not, I actually have I have my Wii at a rental property right now. So I eventually need to grab that. I just kind of I left it there for people to use, and I am now thinking I should probably grab that so it doesn't get destroyed or just sold. Like, people could totally sell it too. Wii wasn't really that cool though, to be honest. It was it was decent for a bit, but that was like the console that I had. Joker, you gonna be in Vegas at all? Gotcha. Gotcha. When you say you have graduation, do you have kids graduating, or are you a teacher, or are you graduating? You have the same sweatshirt, but in black? Yep. Faith over fear. Oh, yes. Awesome. I didn't know you were still here, Greater Good. Yeah. I will be there. I'll be at the Litecoin Summit and Bitcoin Vegas. They're right next to each other, so I'll be popping in and out of both. Niece is graduating. Well, congrats. Congrats. I I really don't like graduations just because of how long they take sometimes. But it is necessary to go sometimes. It's mainly because I had 3 other brothers, and then I got my wife's side. We're more the older siblings, so we went to all of those in a span of like 6 years and got graduated out. And then obviously people started graduating from college, and then you got graduated out again. Yep, not a fan, but I have to be there. Hey, you're a good sport. Yes, Greater Good. I'll definitely see you there. I think Mike might be doing something. Tara hosting might be doing something. Yeah, Joker. Once your channel gets going, highly recommend just reaching out to the events and asking for media passes. And more times than not, if you're early in terms of like they just announce the convention or conference and you email them right away, more times than not they'll give you media passes, so then you'll get passes for free. There's a little tip. Anybody can use that. Greater Good, you can use that. So I don't believe I paid. I don't believe I paid for a ticket for a conference in like 5 years. The first conference I went to was 5 years ago, and I paid for that one. But other than that, I haven't paid. Do you have anything else for me? No. It should all be good. And then once it's accepted, anybody who uses your link in that dashboard that you'll see, so you'll have access to the dashboard today. Then obviously there's that commission, but again, and then there's also that coupon code too. Again, it's not like a selling point or nothing or anything like that. Just if people like it, they can get it. It's definitely niche and unique. Like it's gonna need somebody who probably has done GPU stuff before. I'd love it to be very hands off and simplistic, and it is to an extent for phones. This is about as easy as it gets. But yeah, plenty of stuff I need to work on still. I have a lot of software I need to code. I've been probably putting 60 hours into software for the last 3 months, so 60-hour work weeks just on software. Yeah, dude. Heck yeah. All you got to do is just apply for like media or press pass, and more times than not, like if you make any sort of content, you'll get accepted, which is great because those tickets can be expensive sometimes, especially for like BTC conference. Last year actually, there was a point I had a whale pass. There was a point where I was like, dude, I should sell this whale pass because people were buying them. They were like $10,000, and then people were buying them for like 15, 20K because Trump announced that he was going to be speaking. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I should really sell this. I didn't, but missed opportunity. I will now in the future for sure. They actually asked me, IFC, the Influencer Fight Club, asked me to fight in Vegas this year again. I'm not a fighter. I wrestled in high school and all the way from grade school and elementary school, but I have a little more to live for. I'm not trying to get hurt right now. There's one ticket already on eBay. What is it? Yeah, talk to you soon, Greater Good. Then got burnt out. Yeah, wrestling in our family was like a must-do thing, so I was feeling burnt out as well. I broke my leg in junior year, actually in soccer, and then I never wrestled that year, so it was a good break. Festival pass. Interesting. I suppose. You know what I was thinking the other day too? I was like, obviously we had Silk Road, right? That was a marketplace of random things based in Bitcoin. Why don't we have an eBay yet that's like a mainstream eBay on crypto? Totally crypto based. Like it is doable. And maybe we do and I just don't know. I'm dropping phones. Did kindergarten to sophomore year? Yeah, kindergarten through senior year with a year gap for myself. That was like the thing. I grew up in the Midwest and, well, yeah, I wasn't anything crazy tall, so wasn't playing basketball, so I wrestled. Alright. Alright, 2 more phones to plug in, and then we're on to software. So we can get these, make sure they're booted up and they're working, so we can throw them into other units. Okay. Let's see if I might be able to take this, go this way with it. Nope, I can't. Well, it's gonna be pretty heavy. Got our phones in. I'm not gonna dump them out, but this is the reverse. So you got the motherboard on that side, which, like I said, we use it more so as like a test bench. Dump them, it's okay. These on the reverse, you're gonna dump them more than you dump them on your classic, because it's like just an easier thing for test bench, open air. But power button's on. We'll need to manually press the power button on all of these first, and then we're going to run a script. Doesn't work for all phones, but for these phones, the script will put them into fast boot, and then from fast boot is like an optional menu, and we're going to disable the charge screen, so when power is connected to them, they actually just fully boot up. They don't actually sit at the charge logo, which is it went way too quick, of course. So now I'm manually pressing the power button on all 20 of these for the first time. Then after we run this script, we won't have to press that power button anymore. I have to figure out how to tuck the wires back down. Yeah, it is a little tricky. Do I have to keep them all connected to the computer? Yeah, so for the setup, I connect them to the computer. But once you enable, and I'll show you where it is on a phone. So like I'll bring it up on the screen in a little bit here once I got these powered on. But we'll turn on an option that allows them to always have a memory of that computer's connection, so you don't need to enable anything. And then, not in this software, but the new software, you'll be able to connect to them wirelessly. So you actually won't need to have them plugged in after you do the initial plug-in, if that makes sense. Still turning all these on. Yeah, so yeah, 120 volt is okay. You do need to you got yours pre-made, so it's gonna come with 120 volt already, but the power supply will have a switch, and I'll grab a power supply. So am I screwed in here? Where am I screwed in here? I'll unscrew this quick and show you. So in our power supplies, you'll actually just have a switch right there, and then it's between, you know, your 115 and 230, so 120 and 240 volt. So just, you know, assure that it's flipped over there. It's not a bad thing to check, but yeah, it's just a switch inside the power supply. Yep. No, it's really good because it does cost us way more, unfortunately, to make these, but I do believe in quality of life at the end of the day, and eventually I want everything to be very user friendly. So this was one of our first steps, was we actually got these made that have to switch, not automatic switching, but maybe in the future software switching we could do as well. But that's a good ease of life improvement that we made. We didn't have that originally. And then I already got working on the wrong side there. Okay. Coolio. And then I got a fat stack of batteries too, all the time. And so these are just, you know, a bunch of lithium ion batteries and whatnot. Eventually, I'm going to have these, I'm going to make batteries out of them. So get a bunch of really good batteries. So we have enough, it's actually crazy. I have enough batteries from phones that when I run them in parallel, I eventually get them integrated with solar in probably over a year still. I have enough battery capacity to charge so we get about 5 hours of sunlight average through the summer. So I'll be able to get, from all the batteries that we have collected currently, should be able to make essentially enough power to run two, like L9, so two up-to-date 350 watt miners for about 8 to 12 hours. Or one 24/7 on a charge up. So I'm pretty pumped about that, because like it's significant enough to where like the little things add up. You know how that works. All right, I still gotta power these phones on, or power some of them on. You know what? Some of these phones I might have had already done, and I got them mixed up with other phones. So we'll see what happens. This is the most tedious part for myself and us. Oh no, dude. That was the whole plan was I knew that I was going to be alone today working. So I was like, I need somebody to talk to. So I threw up the live stream. But yeah, you got to get going, get going. Thanks for tuning in. I set notifications for your live streams now too, so I should get notifications. I missed it before. We need more people to stream in the mining community as well. All right. Let's go here. Here. We're a little glitchy yet. Okay, so we need to accept it on a bunch of those. Makes the day go quicker. Dude, it does. It does. Sometimes it's a little rough because I'll get sitting here talking to the other people working and then I'm not allowing them to get any stuff done. So I gotta reel it in more than half the time. Alright. What I will be able to show on camera is like the accepting screen. Maybe, maybe not. Can you see this? Where is this? Yeah, that ain't gonna work right now. So on your phone, when you plug it into the computer for the first time, you're gonna get asked on every phone to allow the connection to the computer. So that is one tedious thing that you'll have to do, ideally one time, as long as you have your other settings set up. So if I go to about phone. So in developer options, there's a setting. It's called, I'm looking for it right now. Disable ADB authorization timeout. You want to have that on. Oh gosh. And then you'll get a prompt that says allow USB debugging once you have that. And it's going to be this computer's RSA key, fingerprint is, and then it gives you like a MAC address. And then you just want to always allow and then press allow. And that's the only thing you have to do on the phone from there. Then everything else can be done from the computer. So, little steps, but it works. It does work. And then what we'll see actually is on the screen, if I hit refresh, now we had two phones here. The new software looks slightly different as well. So, oh, need to clear that script. Okay. Normally I have all these guys do the settings for me so that it's just a plug and play, but looks like they miss these phones, which is okay. I did get some I got some Raspberry Pi heat sinks that I'm going to doctor up and throw on a phone just to make it look absurdly crazy. Can't rely on others to do your work. Yeah, I don't want to shoot them under the bus, right? But They're great. They do a lot of the brunt work, which is disassembly and settings, and so I'm grateful. But yeah, there's always a few things here and there, which I'm sure I leave stuff for them, right? They're like, wish you wouldn't have done that. It just makes building a little bit longer. Oh. I wish I could throw the chat up on this monitor, but it does not work. Oh, there's also what you can get on the phones too. Is you can get a the Google Opinions thing on a Google account, and you can make like $10 a year on a phone doing that. It's like obviously it's a little bit, but when you got 20 phones, an extra $200 a year is pretty good for doing nothing other than just doing the Google Opinions here and there. I kind of forgot about that. Like, it's no compute power to your phone at all, so you can keep mining. Finally getting fiber next week, dude. You get 500 too. Somebody said you were getting 250. How'd you get 500? That's awesome. Fiber is such a game changer. I come from a more networking background too. That's what when I did some studying in school.
It's her mom.
Enable. All right, all right. Yeah, CC and I never got through. Hey, that's all right. Instructional designer. What is an instructional designer? It's probably something self-explanatory, huh? That's okay. I actually went to school for like 3 majors and decided I didn't like any one of them. And then I wished I never went to school, but that's okay. Whatever. Did it to myself. I shouldn't say I don't use any of them. I'd say I use a little bit of each, so it's nice.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
I gotta figure out how these guys are live streaming to Twitter too. I think it's a plugin for OBS, otherwise it's a different software. But I'd like to do that. Like some people, myself included, I have not been active on my YouTube, so. Oops. You're good. We need to have a, March Madness when they have like the boss button on the NCAA Live. I think a boss button extension would be hilarious. I might actually have to make it. Hey, that's okay. That seems pretty good. and basically help the faculty with our LMS and testing software. That doesn't seem too bad. Are you like a problem-solving guy? In terms of like, do you like the challenge of, solving things? I would assume you use a lot of that in your line of work. Just a lot of just random problem solving day in. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I like problem solving, but I don't like stupid problem solving, and I say that with a kind heart. There's some things that are just self-explanatory, and I feel like everybody should know, and then I get a little annoyed when it comes to the problem solving when it was just like all you have to do is just look up one thing. I did help desk in college a little bit. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I would say that some of those are funny. Sure. I worked at a college help desk for a little bit in the IT room, and some of the calls day in and like day out was like a lot of password forgets for the students, and the system was all automated. Like you could do the password reset all of itself, but all you had to do was click like reset password in the text, and I'd get constant tickets about that when it was all automated anyway. All through Office 65 now. Okay. When you say now, did you guys use something before? What did you use before? Active Directory. Okay. Gotcha. Trying to get through all these settings on these phones. Oh no. I clicked off of the allow. How did you win a ticket to BTC conference? You said you got it from a hobbyist. I didn't see anything. Was he was giving away tickets or something? Maybe I did. Maybe I'm just mind blanking. So also on the phones, we have OEM unlocking set on in the developer options. Not all phones have that. If your phone has it, I recommend turning it on. You might be able to do some more like advanced stuff. Like if you get that on, there's a chance that maybe you could root your phone. So Orbics are really hard because they're kind of like not very common. So you don't really get Orbics for rooting. But if you could root, you can natively run Linux. But some of the new phones that Google announced, their new Pixels, they had an option in the new Android software where you could actually turn on a terminal or a Linux operating system. So you could literally turn it on and it would boot into Linux. So I'm really curious to get my hands on one of those new ones. Oh, and he gave away 6 BTC tickets that he got from NiceHash. Oh, yo, that's sweet. Actually, I need to do that too. Joker, not that you have to be here all the time, but I'm going to give you a mod since you're sticking around. I just got to figure out how to do that. I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, Mike's got a good setup video.
Well, he can just use
The
my.
AO3S's are they're a good starting phone.
Okay. I gotta go.
Mike's got a farm too. Obviously he's got his connects. His connect farm. Hey, no hate. There's really good airflow, and honestly, like connects are cool. Connects are cool. I wanted them as a kid, but never really got them. Mike is here. Of course he's here. Of course Mike's smart. I see a lot of people repackage his content. I'm not gonna lie. I'll see I know, right? He's always in the background. No, I see a lot of people, Mike. You're gonna send me a pallet of Connects. Please do not send me a pallet. Oh man, my wife would be like, "What is going on?" Yeah. I see a lot of people, Mike, take your content and kind of like repackage it and make the same thing. Not that I'm opposed to that, but I'm like, this is straight off a rip of Mike's. Like I think one of your mining core videos that I was watching from a long time ago. It's like working in Docker a while back. I saw another person, and I don't remember the name, but they had a video up for a little bit. It's probably still up. And it was like literally like your video. How if how much like connects? I don't even know the metric you would use. Like connects, like Mike, you probably measure connects in volume. Yeah, a bunch of liters of connects. Pounds probably. I'm just throwing out funny random stuff. Like, do you generally do you have like a ton of connects? And is this like more of a childhood thing where you accumulated all these, or this is more of like you just like building stuff with connects? What? That's dude. Okay, you should throw that on X or send me a pic. That's super cool. All right, gotta keep connecting these. I sometimes geek out watching. Um, I don't remember the guy's channel, but he'll make machines out of Kinects, and like he'll have them like go upstairs, or some are like boats, like functional boats. Um, but he does really good production of like the whole thing, and it like he like levels up the build time over time. Like, can this Kinect boat withstand these generated waves? And then he'll build it up so that it can withstand the force of those waves, and then he'll build it up again once it can't. And he does like all the levels. I don't know his name, but occasionally my YouTube fluctuates over to that video. They're that guy's series. Mike, do you think you'll be in Vegas this year for the BTC and Litecoin summits by chance, or no? Also, Mike, thank you again for sending that old school miner, the GA miner. Maybe next year. I'll take a picture of your miner on display. I'm really excited. I do have to do a lot of cleaning up of some of the other miners. And then I actually have to get some logistics still. I have to get a pallet. And then I'm going to have a... Scary, I know, right? I'm going to have a shipping company ship it to Vegas for me. So, okay, Dallas Disrupt. I do plan currently to go to Dallas for Disrupt. Again, Disrupt earlier in the year was really cool, so it was a good experience, and that swayed me to go again in the same year. Okay. Keep going, keep chugging along. System, developer options, stay awake, unlocking, turn off automatic system updates, allow. Huh. I think this phone was already... Alright, one's already connected. I'm gonna get a camera in the shop for hopefully next time, and it's gonna be a down pan so you can actually see what I'm doing on all these phones in the rack. Once we get into the software, of course, that'll work, but that's also the old software I'll be using. I don't have the new software on this computer. I can download it from GitHub, but it's still far from, unfortunately, where I'd like it to be. I'm using, in the new one, I'm using a lot of Rust, which Rust is actually fairly new to me, despite Rust being used for a lot of smart contracts and Solana stuff. And even ordinals. I did a lot of ordinals with Rust. But building out like a full application has been a little challenging on that end for myself. The newer overhead camera rig, it's amazing. I have to look into that. Mike, you want to drop a link? You can throw in your Amazon affiliate. There's a really good chance I'll end up getting it because I don't have any type of overhead mount. Oh yeah, so you can, dude, for marketing, you can download the pre-release version. It's really clunky though, at the moment still, sadly. I have spent a lot of time into it, but oh, I need to mod you so you can drop a link. Add as moderator. Okay, there we go. Got you. Dude, you can. It's in the Discord, the Cellhasher Discord right now, and I only have it set up to mine Varus because I messed up the mining tab, the mining dashboard. I was creating everything into one Rust file, and I realized that I really want to make them separate so that it's just more of like a plugin. And it was just getting really long, and then I messed up something along the lines in my linking. I even asked AI to help me with the linking, and I messed up pretty big. So I'm backtracking a bit and fixing that. Amazon. I think this is the button. I can't see my computer screen fully. Red. Oh, dude, that's nice actually. I'll need to log into my personal account to get it, but I will click that link, and I'm gonna save that link for that. That looks simple. It looks nice and simple. Exactly what I want. I'm very much addicted, Mike, to phones now at just ARM cores, I should say. And Mike, okay, here's a really cool idea, and I think you could be the one that could figure out how to make it work, right? There's some SSDs, some NVMe drives that have all of the computer parts and have some ARM cores inside of them. And you can boot them actually to Linux, some of them. You should give, like, just saying that, you should do some testing. I thought about doing it, and I probably will mess around. But sometimes I struggle to figure out how the heck I'm gonna even manage that. And you're probably well aware of that, but I'd be curious to see what happens because it has technically all the necessary components that you would need. And there's some that do actually boot into Linux. I don't know which ones those are, but it'd be super cool to see what they do, like especially on like Varus Hash or something. It'd be a really cool video. It would. Like, a lot of people would geek out over that video. So there you go. You can clip that part from this live stream and make your video with that when you figure it out. All right, we got 7 more phones. to just allow the settings on. Going really slow, so I'll speed it up here. And thank goodness that tariffs on smartphones and other chips don't apply the reciprocal tariff, that is. Because all of the manufacturers manufacture phones not here. So even the prepaid phones would have gone up in price. Oops. It does get tedious doing this, but it's so fun. Oops, wrong button. Sometimes phones will have like the power button now set to bring up Google Assistant, and that always throws me off. Always. It's like an accessibility option that sometimes is on by default. Okay. That is connected. This one is connected. I know I said this before, but I do have to figure out what software people are using or what plugin they're using for OBS to do multi-streams. I've known of a few in the past, but I've been so out of loop, I haven't looked at it in forever, so you just kind of forget when you don't use it. I also have to write a lot of things down. Because if I don't write it down, there's a good chance that I forget if I don't write it down. Or if I don't have like a slip of paper. Sometimes I do pretty good, depending on how excited I am on the topic, but... Oh, Mike, I also bought the majority of the CoinDad's miners that he had for script. Tobias. Shoot, maybe I should. Gotta be careful. I can't be saying people's names all the time. I also have, I just got some BTC cards, and I'm going to try to record a video going to the college campus and doing some education and handing out those packs. Oops. I'm clicking so quick sometimes that I end up turning. I accidentally press like the cancel on the always allow for the computer RSA keys. Oops. Almost did it again. Alright, this should be the last one unless I just missed one. Developer settings, developer options, stay awake. Alright. Let's see how many devices we have connected. Okay. Okay, yay. That does say 20. So all of them are connected. So I will mirror them for us so we can kind of see what's going on. Oh, got one facing sideways. You can turn that off with auto rotate. Ooh, I gotta get that one out of the settings because sometimes the settings will bump the devices. And they'll click on the little metal grate. Normally when you're plugged into a power strip. So a lot of power strips, believe it or not, which is really sad, are not actually properly grounded. The ones that you get even from Walmart and Amazon, obviously. They're not made to be quality half the time. So a lot of power strips are really bad and they don't have proper grounding. And if you don't have proper grounding and you plug in something like this, those screens can actually be touched by electric that moves kind of through the metal. Because like you have like a current, a frequency, through you and your skin and your body, and that mimics kind of a tap on the phone. Kind of cool, actually. So this is what I do with this. Gotta drag down with the mouse and then turn off the auto rotate. And then you get out of the settings, like so. I think I need to do that over here, because that would be annoying, right? Turn off auto rotate. And then this one too. I got limited space to move my mouse right now, so that's why it's taking me forever to do this. I'm like reaching over a camera. And one more. Okay. So obviously not all are shown up here, but they all are here. I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to run a couple scripts on these. So we're going to run this script, which boots them in to a fast boot state, and they won't show the screens. They'll eventually just all disappear from here. And then in fast boot, it runs an OEM command that disables the charge screen. What do I mean by that? When your phone is completely off and you plug in your phone, you'll have this screen that kind of pops up and it shows like the battery and how much battery it has, because it's not like fully on. It's in this like off state, of course. So what this does is that disables that. And what that means is when power just connects to it, so when power is flipped on, they'll automatically boot up, which is really handy if you want to like start doing things at scale. It is totally doable to just press the power button whenever you want, because not all phones have this ability. So yeah, that's the life hack for powering on and off your chassis, or if you have it connected to an external power source. eventually you can dive into a lot of different things and use like a Tasker app. There's other ways too, where a Tasker app can run natively on Android, and you can have it boot up like a terminal and start mining right away. So what happens is when you flip it on, it's more like ASIC-like, or just FPGA-like with a flight sheet and everything, and you flip the switch and it starts mining right away. You can use other software too, and we have baked into the actual software that we use is a computer that monitors it. People are like, do you have to have it connected to the computer all the time? Not anymore. We have the wireless version implemented as well, which we should have had before. Anyway. We all learn, right, as we go. So this process takes a little bit, as you can see. There is a way to speed it up, but after a random Windows update, I don't remember what version, but just over 2 months ago, when you started pushing all these commands on Windows to the phone, they get like blocked, and I have no idea why, and it was such a pain, and I still don't know why. I think it was more so because we just had a lot of we were executing scripts within the code. So like the file wasn't a script file. The script was like made in the code to then create on the device. And so you were pushing scripts to the device, and I don't think Windows liked that very much. I should be moving over to Linux with the majority of this stuff anyway. Yeah, I got a bunch of other phones that we're testing too. So these are the ones with the backs that are black. These are Summits. They're like a $40 pre-made phone. They have 1 more gigabyte of RAM than a lot of prepaid phones. So like A03S's had 3 gigabytes. Summit has 4 gigabytes. So we're testing these out. Obviously, still with a little different Cortex situation, which the old software and the new software actually tells you what cores you have. And if you install the Varus miner, we have a few pre-compiled miners that are compiled for your cores, actually. For most combinations of cores, I should say. The prime cores we added in, but I think it can be fine-tuned. There's a lot of work. Then we have, I'm throwing stuff around again. Then we have a greenback one. These are HMD Vibes that we're testing. I do recommend the Vibes. I do. I recommend the Summits too. The Vibes come in at a cheaper price point at Walmart in prepaid as well than the Summits. So there's a bunch of options. And the thing is there's always going to be new models of phones that are made. So don't worry about, say, one phone goes away after a while. Like eventually there's going to be a prepaid phone that comes out that's really good priced. And that's when you just kind of start going. How are we with the script? Still going? Okay. Still a going. We also have another phone that we're testing. But I don't know where that is, actually. Where is it? It's a Propel phone, Propel 2. It was highly promising when I looked up the specs, but the specs that I looked up were, I believe, the Asian market specs, which had more RAM, and the US version actually had less RAM. Do I know why? I don't know why they do that. They'll make like the same, it's the same phone, right? Same name, but then they'll make different like hardware variations of it, which looking at it now, that was kind of stupid because you can always get phones from like Apple that always had upgrades like storage anyway, but this had like RAM upgrades and storage, of course. The motherboard though, for the most part, with Cortex was roughly the same. So cores. Okay, looks like we got a couple more phones to go with the script, which is a good thing. And then all of those phones are set to be good. And I'll put them in a good pile, and then we'll get another chunk of phones loaded in there. I am going to go grab electrical tape. I need that. Okay. Should be getting done now. Awesome. Yep, script completed. Heck yeah. So here's what we're going to do to test. Make sure everything's, going as is. All those phones will still be there because I have them reboot after that. But we're going to turn the unit off now. So I turned I know you guys couldn't see that. Cellhasher's off. If I refresh this page, so now they're all gone. Perfect. Now I turn the unit back on, and then I shouldn't have to power any of them on manually. And we make sure that test is good to go. Here's another thing I'm pumped about, because, like, why not? Like, let's just geek a little bit. Gonna start putting Raspberry Pi heat sinks with fans on phones with prime cores. So, not Orbix, but, like, flips. And just put them... Obviously, this is the backside of the CPU, but just have this phone looking, wow, I'm really bad at putting this stuff in the camera. This phone looking CPU thing on a motherboard. That'll be fun, actually. I'm excited to mess around with that a little bit. Okay, let's refresh the unit and see. We should have everything there. Boom. And let's scroll up 20 devices. Yes, sir. All right. Now, just out of generosity, what I will do, and I will show you on the software, is we do run debloat scripts on a button click. So we're gonna run a debloat command. And all of the apps on the phones will kind of get deleted that are unused. We have one phone that says a battery warning, so I will exchange out the cable. So that's good to know. This is why we test them. Battery warnings aren't bad either. You can just hit OK and it works. Just some people get a little worried. So, let's see. Let's do this. And let's go. going up on a few of these so we can watch the apps disappear. Now they're all going to do that. Because it's fun to watch apps disappear. It's fun. It's fun. So all of this bloatware that you don't need. Alright, that's good. And then we go to hard remove. And it's going to look at that. Look at it just clear out on those apps. Boom. There's nothing on there. Great stuff. And then we also run a optimize script, which will sort of, at least for Orbix, what it does is it, you know, sets CPU to allow to run, you know, at full throttle since we have fans. That cool. So we unlock that, do a few animation things, set a few other, like, allow, like, heat to get to this level. I don't remember exactly what we have it set to. I think we have it set to, like, allow 70 cells, which is pretty hot. 70, 75 cells. It's like 160, 70 Fahrenheit. Don't take my word for that. It's my guess. So they're all booting up again. That's what you're hearing in the background. And you can disable that noise too, so it doesn't go ding, 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 ding. Like that. So you can mute that, of course. Alright, we're good to go. We're good to go. And what I also did there too, oops, I'll go back. I'm running it on a really not powerful mini computer, the software right now. I gotta find which one of those had that battery message, so we'll see which one does that. All right, well we don't get the battery warning again, so sadly I don't know which phone that is, but it doesn't matter anyway. It's just kind of a visual thing. And I'll just make sure I check the cables. Yeah. Just kind of checking in on these. Everything does look good for this unit, and then we'll go on. We'll carry on to the next one, which I really wish I had remembered where I put those other phones. All right. All right. Cool. I did bring actually the thermal tape down, so we'll tape them up. Doosh. So now, yeah. Now it's just unplug. Ah, shucks. We also put a plastic cover to hold the connections down too. so it's less likely for them to come undone. But I don't have any of those right here. I do actually. Let's go. Oh boy. How do I click off of that? Boom. Okay. There we go. So now that that is done, let's go to full camera. There we go. So I don't need to do the tape right now, but I do need to get my screwdriver working on this. Need some screws as well. I need to clean these areas up. There's just so much stuff. Hard to move around. Alright. Now time for another grueling part. But a necessary one. It's a good check the connections. Then we put the piece that I was telling you about that holds the connections down. And then we go and screw that on. I'm getting a robot arm too. That can do, you can like train it, or yeah, it's like a training. And then it's like a mini robot arm, and I can do all of this like tedious screwing. Save us so much time, like so much time. And I'm the only one here this week. Is what it is, right? The other guys got a wedding that they're doing in a few states over. Put that in the done pile. Kind of done pile, anyway. Holy smokes. Did I miss a bunch of messages somehow? Or they all just came in? What is your stream name? You can send it in Twitter messages. Stream name. I missed him. I don't know, man. My chat wasn't even. Oh, Steam. Got you. Yeah, I'll throw it in Twitter. In DMs. Steam. Passive. How we doing, man? Hey, we're still working hard here. I'm actually the only one in for the rest of the week. So I got the I had to take a break because I do software. So now I'm doing the hardware side of things for a little bit. Building these up. Just completed a couple. Oh yeah, dude. Dubai is insanely warm right now. Last year it was flooding. And oh, you're speaking. You have an event that you're speaking at, right? How did that go? Did you do that yet or no? You need a robot arm to assemble your connects. Yes, Joker. I normally don't do this part, but I am doing this part at the moment. So yeah, this is what we do, and then we actually run the unit for right around 48 hours to make sure everything works before we actually send it out. You did today. Nice, dude. You've been grinding. Like you have been grinding for sure. So I'm glad that you're out and about kind of doing things like that. No, that's huge, man. Mark's a good guy. I bet you a lot of people. Did you meet anybody passive that was like excited to see you because obviously you do more so anonymous like YouTube videos. You don't really show your face. Oh, both of us. Both of, both of us, nah. Yep, and then we got hit with tariffs too. So is what it is. I'm trying to get a lot of production moved at the moment. Oh, they noticed your logo. Do you have were you wearing a shirt that had your logo on it? Little screws are so hard sometimes too. Wow. That's so cool, man. You've worked for that. He got him in the Geo. Now he has over 200 stations. Hey, that's so cool, man. I think that's the best part about content, and I think you would probably agree, is when you can see it actually take effect for other people and they have success. It's I'd say there's nothing that beats that for like a content creator is seeing other people like inspired or learning from your content and finding success in what they're doing, you know? Just I think the majority of people like seeing other people winning. Nice job, man. Isn't that crazy? Sometimes all it takes is just one project, right? And you try and you grind and you grind and you grind, and eventually you hit one of those projects. I think it's inevitable for a lot of people in crypto is like stick it out. Obviously, like don't get over committed like to a crazy extent, but yeah, dude, it is. It's total win. I'm super happy that I feel like there's a lot of good content creators out there in I would say the deep in and mining space. And a lot of that I'm very happy with the mannerisms of a lot of people. So what I mean is people are seem to be more genuine, and I believe the people who are doing well are the people that should be pushing the space forward, and I'm glad that they have a voice. So yourself included there. Got into Rover, dude. I actually have Rover as well. Wait, how do I claim the tokens? I have like the points in the app. I gotta message my buddy because we have a few we have a fleet of rovers. Thanks, Passive. You met the rover guys today. Oh, super cool, man. I was so close to coming to Dubai, but my wife had some other things going on, so wasn't gonna have anybody to watch the baby. Said 1-to-1, but waiting. Okay. Yeah, I haven't been able to claim any of that, so that is good to know. So appreciate that insight. Is it doing well? I saw that they posted the contract, right? And there was a few like fake ones that launched from people just doing stupid stuff. But I saw that they posted the address, the contract address. I didn't think about it. I just went to my app and I didn't see anything like that I could claim or anything. So it's just like, all right, I'll just wait. No problem. I can do a little bit of waiting. Oh no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's very unfortunate. I grabbed a phone. That wasn't set up and put it in the pile that was set up. So now I got to go through all of that. Launched it very well. Cool. I think like yourself, I love DPIN and I love what it's doing. I do believe DPIN is more of an extension of RWAs, real world assets, kind of. So I see it going far in the future, and as long as like there's actual good data and the DPIN company is doing like they actually are producing, gathering the data and selling it and profitable, like it's gonna work. Yeah, catch you later, man. Appreciate it. Is your talk online at all? It'd be cool to listen to that if they have like an audio recording. It's more problem solving, exactly. Yeah, that's all right. Is what it is, man. But I do know this. I gotta make sure I got the right phone set up here now. Let's see, maybe I can move the mic slightly back so people can kind of see that I'm working here. Flip this on again. Found it. Haha. Okay. Lesson learned. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing. Oh, and this is the one that has the heat warning. Perfect. That actually worked out. Alright, got that. Set that aside. That aside. Put these over here. This over here. So this one I got an air for. It has a like a battery temperature, a heat. So there's a sensor in here that can shut off phones if they have heat. These you can just skip, but we're gonna change the cable anyway and test it, just to make sure, because sometimes just the battery cable wasn't fully connected. Depending on where it's turned, maybe it's not a good solder. It looks fine. We'll put it aside and I'll put on a different one, but that's normally what we do there. And this is a BMS cable, so it comes off the top of a lithium-ion battery. It comes off just a battery. So there's this, and then you have... Okay, let me do this here. I'm actually getting a call too, so let me check just to make sure. Hey. Yep, I am. Sounds good. What were you gonna say though? Was it something about food? I mean, you can bring stuff home. That'd be cool. All right. I love you. All right. Bye. Bye. Wife called. Make me food. Yeah, so my wife was coming back from a town that has some pretty good food. And she called and asked if I wanted anything, so really kind of her. Right? It's hard to turn down food. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, you got the circuitry, which is right under this little piece of tape, and that's essentially this cable, that cable, and then we solder the points on, and you plug it into the phone, and that's what powers it. Dude, I think I've actually been there to that coffee shop, and that's when we started looking for properties over there at the time. There's also, I don't want to say it's called Blackstone. I forget if that's what that one was there, or if there was a different, if it had a different name. I forget what its name was. When my wife gets back, or wherever she is at, I'll have to ask her. She'll remember. Put that on there. Yeah, Joker, though, whenever you're up in the area, just shoot me a text and I'll meet up or whatever. Maybe can show you the phone farm. We are looking at some acreage, and then also I'm designing. I kind of mentioned it to you previously, but I'm designing a house plan that runs out, not like off grid, but obviously a lot of it is solar, which is then used into like some in-ground heating, which we'll use with like Bitcoin miners, and have a bunch of like all the networks you can think for, helium networks, hotspots, turn it into a kind of a test case study for blockchain living in a way, and then have obviously some acreage to, maybe harvest some deer during that season, some meats and just that kind of thing. Have obviously a small garden until it gets to be too much, right? We'll see how much weeding I'm actually going to be doing, right? My grandparents had a farm growing up, and summers, not all the time, but some of the time we'd be there working. Cannon Bell's Coffee and Ice Cream. Oh, okay. Then I can't say I've been there. That does not ring a bell to me. But ice cream too. When you're in that Midwest and you get that local ice cream from all the dairy farmers, and they make it, which never happens. That stuff's amazing. I'm not the biggest coffee drinker myself, to be fairly honest, but I do favor flavors and other espresso and stuff occasionally, so it is always fun to go to those new places. My wife, of course, loves it. I need to have I really need to get that overhead setup mic that you were talking about, because then I can have a camera across on me as I'm talking, and then I can have one down. So gonna get that in the cart tonight. I've been looking into running some directories too, for like authenticated, like, good crypto websites, indexes, and decentralized stuff. Because I haven't ran a directory in a while, and directories are kind of fun. I made one in college for a bit, and it was a directory for like Airbnbs in this area, and we tried to use some keywords and ranked on Google, and get paid out from the AdSense. So that was fun for a period of time. I wasn't very good at it, the SEO or anything, to be honest. Oh, dude, yeah, no, meter mining is they do. I believe they got a place in Minnesota, but in Wisconsin as well. Yeah, no, catch all of us at that point. Why am I putting another one of these on? World can only wonder. Yours says 7 camera mount spots. Definitely do multiple angles. I definitely could. I'd need to get more cameras. Or no, I could have like 3 angles. I could use a webcam. I could hook up an iPhone, and then I could also just have my normal. I do have an FX3, and all camera geeks will always say when they have an FX3, but I really love it. No pillow. Welcome, welcome. Oh, heck yeah. So any clamp basically will work because of that. I suppose you could probably do some like 3D printing as well. Super cool. Notepad questions before. Oh my gosh, I apologize. Thank you. Let me see. Oh, sorry, you have some questions. Okay. Wow, I can't believe I missed all that. It like wasn't loading in my OBS. About motherboards and cell phones being set up. Sure. Is there any chance you'd be able to retype that? And then I can give it take 2. apologies there. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. Oh, I still have to tape those. Hopefully I didn't just grab another one off that stack. Yeah, nope, if you could retype that back out, that'd be good. My chat messed up on me in my streaming software, so I apologize. And when I scroll back up, I actually can't even see it. Hi, I have some questions. I saw... Oh, I think I might be able to see it. I saw many seller-made box phones with only phone motherboards. Yes, how do they make that? They take off the screens of the phones. So, for example, let me put this down real fast. I'll get you... another phone. So here's... this is a S8 or S9 GM500. So I do believe this is an S9 motherboard. So this doesn't have a screen, and the reason and how it doesn't have a screen is this is rooted. So it doesn't need the screen to enable connection via the computer, so you can actually control the phone. Essentially, you're able to integrate ADB and control the phone, and then install a terminal like Termux or Userland, and get a Linux, environment going on it that you have sometimes root authorizations with, not all the time, on rooted phones for sure. But so that's how they do that. Is normally the screens that they're off will be rooted. You can do them if they're not rooted. You just have to be very careful when you take off the screen that you have like the key files that you can transfer between computer to computer, and you have the developer settings set to allow for wireless ADB and allow for essentially the connection of ADB after 7 days will expire, and then you need to like accept it again. But there's a switch in there that will turn that off, so it will always remember. So you gotta make sure you turn that on as well. If you have more like specific questions, I can answer those too. That is how they do that, and yep, they end up looking like just like this. Or other variations, like they don't all look like that, because like obviously like this is a lot thicker. So yeah, definitely get everything set up first so that you know that you can connect to the phone when the screen is off. Because what you'll use when the screen is off is you'll use screen copy or other software to display the screen, but that uses natively ADB. So in the developer settings, you need to make sure you have ADB turned on, that you can already connect to it from your computer, and that you accepted it. And then so it doesn't forget your computer, you need to make sure you turn on that disable ADB authorization timeout. And then eventually like turn on the wireless ADB as well, so then you can connect to it via just the IP of the device. Which if you have control of your router, you can set statically and it will always be the same. You could even give it a domain too, which is pretty cool. So you could buy like a domain, nopesPhoneFarm.com, and point it to each phone and have a page for each phone or a subdomain for each phone to make it easier. You can actually do it locally, I believe, too. So you don't even need to buy a domain in that sense. You can run a domain locally through your network. I forgot about that. Like how people like, what's a common thing that people have done with it recently in crypto? I think wingbits. A lot of people will rename their wingbits to like wingbits.local, and it's essentially the IP and then the port that it's on. Yeah, it's a network-based domain, local. It's pretty cool. Highly recommend doing that. Actually, makes life easier. Unless you remember numbers more than you remember the name, but the name's definitely gonna help you remember. Oops. I'm so bad at these tiny screws. It's not very fun, but I do need to get a robot arm. Make work groups great again. I agree. There needs to be like a podcast live stream where people just are doing their work and they're just chatting. That'd be cool. But work groups in general, sure. If that's what you're referring to, unless I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe I don't know what a work group is. Hey, no worries, man. Go for it. Good luck with your exam. Good questions, though. Those are great questions, because I'm sure a lot of people are wondering that. So thanks for asking. I don't know. I'll leave it up in lives for you guys. Sure. If it's already set up. I don't know if it's set up to be there. I think YouTube saves it automatically, and I'd have to remove it myself, but I won't remove it. You're good. I do have to drive and pick up a pallet soon, too. Oh, that's what you mean. Make work groups. Here and I'm talking about like actual work groups and occupations. But yes, the local network subdomains. Huh. Off the read, because I'm like, to be honest, I'm not familiar with those. I've set up local domains on my, Ubiquity setup, but Ubiquity makes it really easy. So good old work groups. Joker, you must have some experience with those. Was that like the stuff? Did everybody have those running around and it just got subdomain like crazy inside of businesses and stuff? I don't 3D print it. We totally could, and we thought about, putting a Cellhasher logo there and stuff. I don't because the back naturally comes. I'll show you one sec. The back is already printed. That will come over the top of the motherboard, and so it'll be like this, right? So here's the complete back that will cover the motherboard on a phone, like that, okay? And then we just cut the bottom piece off that has all the connections that put pressure to make sure they stay connected. So that's what we do, and then that exposes the back side of the motherboard. Better air quality and airflow. So, and then if you take the screen off, technically you have better airflow too. Which could give you higher hash rates and less power, but sometimes it is easier just to have the screens on for things. And if you want to do other things with your phones later, you can, in the software, we have it so you can turn the screen off and you can save 10 watts on a full box. So like an average box is 100 watts. By turning all the screens off, and it still allows stuff to work in the background, just a click in the software. Turns them all off and you save 10 watts in electricity. So it's pretty cool. And sometimes some phones react in certain ways where you'll end up getting not much, but just like little extra hash rate. But if it works on all 20 phones that way, because there's less heat coming from the LCD screen, that works pretty good. Yes, same thing Brandon showed in his video. Yep, that is exactly what we do. It saves on costs. I'd love to 3D print one. If it was funded from other people, we'd probably 3D print them. But this is all self-funded, so we're just doing it that way. It's just how it works, and it works perfect. It's made for it. I do have to get these done. So I'll get this done, and then we'll get another box done today. And then we'll call her. The next box will be pretty quick. We will be adding eventually like a USB voltage testers, so if people are doing stuff with other phones, they can kind of get an idea of what volts they need to set their Cellhasher to. And I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier, until actually one of the business employees came up and was like, "Hey, we should get this," and I was like, "Heck yeah." Tanner. I shouldn't say that, but Tanner, my coworker, said that. Yep, I've always done electrical tape as well. And then we moved into this where I got these produced. Doesn't really show very well, unfortunately. But then, yeah, we'll do an electrical tape right afterwards, just for extra secure connections. And then if like you pull the phone out of the case and it pulls on this wire, we have like electrical tape across so that the tension's on the tape and not the connection. That is smart though. So yeah, and then screw the cover down. Yeah, I do actually really like that way. That's pretty smart. So then you kind of get like extra security. So you have like, you got your electrical tape over, and then you also screw it down over the top of the electrical tape. That's good. Oops. pretty soon once I have those camera angles, I'll have to code like an agent that, watches over the stream and makes sure, like, if I'm looking this way, it pulls that camera. I'm pretty smart. I'm gonna clip that. Clip it, chat. I did, and I'm in agreement. I've learned from your videos quite regularly, I will say. So, no shame in saying that. I wish I was that smart. Or just had, like, more of a general knowledge of how, like, these applications work, because, like, you run through it fairly easy. You can also use Joker, the Cellhasher software, and get those installed and running on those phones too. The miners, anyway. I don't know what happened with yours though. Wow, so many phones. What did I get myself into? I wonder that. It's been fun though. It's just different. And it's a great conversation starter. Gotcha. Yeah, and you don't need to have, like, the Cellhasher unit to use the software. So we do allow everybody to use the software. I believe that's fair. Yeah, I could see that. That's awesome though. I'm jealous. I wish I was, like, learning and running stuff in 2014. I guess you could say sure, slightly, but that was about the year I started to plan to build my first computer. And then the year after that I built my first computer. Oh, that's super handy. That's super cool, actually. Integration architect. And developer. I seen your 2025 post from December 2024. Mics? Or do I have something out there? Gosh. Sometimes I don't know what I'm tweeting. Unless Mike was saying that. Mike probably said something. Oh, I see, Mike. I see. Oh, yes. Yep. Oops. Yep. Got a lot of work I need to do, actually. That's alright. That's alright. Mike, you should make an eBay, please, for us crypto enthusiasts that want to just list on chain. I obviously get that might dox some people because of shipping and whatnot, but they could have like a other wallet use for it. Nobody's tried to do anything marketplace that I've seen other than obviously Silk Road, but I'm talking like, let's just get an eBay out there for crypto. Mike, did you happen to hear? Except CCX and payment. Oh, Conceal. I gotcha. Did you happen to hear what I mentioned earlier about the SSD and VME stuff, or no? Because if you didn't, I gotta run it by you again. Oops. That's what I'm trying to find right now. Is I'm trying to find one that has an ARM chip in it that boots into Linux, because there's one that boots into like the disk management kind of OS. I forget what it's called. Oh, what is it called? Let me look on my phone. I think I got it on my phone. It's gonna kill me if I don't remember this. Holy smokes, nobody told me Bitcoin was at 96. Bell's coin, 27 cents. Dude, let's go. Happy days. That's alright. Just stack sats. Just stack sats. Alright. I have it somewhere. I was mind blown. Unless I don't have it somewhere. Oh, I did. I think I did. ThreadX. That's what it's called. I think ThreadX is like a disk management OS. I don't know, actually. I'll have to look that up. But then some of them also boot into Linux, so I'd be really curious. Okay, got those 20. Those 20 situated. Now we'll do this. These 20. Keep chugging along. That's what you gotta do. I gotta be careful. Because I don't have the seedings on those quite yet. You have 3070 FEs. Okay. Iowa Mining got one of your GPUs. Which one did I think that's Nathaniel. Which one did he buy? I'm saying because I keep saying people's names and I need to stop doing that. Because I know people don't like sometimes their names being out. BTC's been pumping all day. I had no idea. My recurring buy bought some Bitcoin today, though. I do know that. Been going like 3 years strong every day. buying some. Toxic. It's a toxic. I should have. Oh man, I should have renamed the title. Apologies all around. I actually have a video interview and stuff with Iowa Mining. I got some stuff hosted with him as well. Show some love around the area. Try to host with everybody I can. More so. And so there is a video eventually that comes out with that. Probably should post it sooner rather than later so the topics aren't that old by the time it gets posted. All right. This is good. We're cruising. We're cruising on this one here. You got this 670 XT, okay? Dude, Mike, Mike, yo, do you think I've been trying to build a miner for Android that can correctly use or bypass, not necessarily CUDA, but utilize the GPU that's in a phone to do like Wart or others, right? I haven't been successful yet, but it's got to be possible. Pionex bots been good to me to get USDT. Is that are you doing what do you call it, like scalping, like LP scalping? You have like USDT and USDC, and do you trade the pair, the difference, automated wise? Oh yeah, Iowa is a good dude, for sure. Just got to remember the people that are around, because obviously this space is in a decade is going to be nuts. And it's going to be good to just, know the people who have been around for a while. Always. Trying to interface with them, GPU. Right, I would agree that the best option is the Raspberry Pi, and then move on to the phone from there. Yeah. Oh man, I see that, and I totally want to do it. I just see the countless hours of just scratching my head. It'd be so cool. It'd be kind of like, for me, the NVMe thing. You don't want to go the mining route. You have 10 devices on Survey Pop and watching ads on Nintendo's Real Rush so far. That's so cool, actually. Thanks for coming and tuning in. There's a lot of people that do really well doing the other side of farming, actually. So that's super cool to hear. I know there's some people on CryptoSense. I know there's some people that are doing like 101 Sweets, the Robinhood app, for like wallpapers that can rotate with ads. And then there's also, like Pi or Google Opinion rewards if you make enough accounts. I actually have a list. If you'd like to check it out, Stacy. It's in the Discord for Cellhasher, and it gives everybody a list of things they can do. Right here, actually, I can go to my computer screen. So this is we call it the beer money list, and of course my camera is right in the way of some of this. I'll move it over here for now. Oh my gosh. I'll just put it right there. I can't use this hand. Wow. Run Loot TV on your Kinect's phone wall. Yeah. So here's a list of kind of like what tons of different things you can do. So if you want this list, this was made by other professional phone farmers as well. Can you offer up some phones without batteries for replacements, or do they only work with Cellhasher? So they will work outside of Cellhasher as well. Like if you have a proper way to supply power. Yep. So they will. I don't think we'll be selling phones individually. We'd have to have probably more of a reseller's license, which wouldn't be the worst thing. But we don't necessarily plan on doing that because it's hard enough to get phones as it is. So that's where we're at with that. Yeah, I mean, maybe in the future, right? We might be able to do that. But phones are getting so hard to get nowadays, which is crazy. Oh, I guess I never finished screwing this one up. Wow, I am so out of the wazoo. The Discord for Cellhasher, I don't know the invite link. It is on our website. You'll have to grab it from there. I don't know off the top of my head. I apologize. Yep, you're telling me on phones. Yeah, and then, I mean, obviously a lot of places, the prepaid phones, like you can only get 2 at a time. So sometimes it's hard. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, what phones, Stacy, what phones do you run for all of that side of the phone farming that you do? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 21. I have 21 phones over there, and I have no idea how I grabbed them from other piles again. Crazy. The Motorola, yeah, the G Play. Yeah, you can't beat that, honestly. It's a good play. How do you see the phone farming from your standard? Have you been doing it for a while, or are you just starting? On my personal 6 sim farm, I run S20 Ultras with crack screens. Heck yeah. So can I ask like what you're doing with that? Are you like providing like a viewage service? There are some clients that will buy units from us so that because they're making out sim units so that they can do like streaming type stuff. Like people pay them, I think, for views for like Spotify to promote, which I believe probably goes against a lot of terms and conditions. Too many apps, not enough time. Yeah, isn't that crazy? I'm working on automated tools with the Cellhasher software that you could use, and you can create scripts in there. It's not in like really good working condition yet, but the dream would be like more automation so that people with that side of farming have the automation that they can task themselves. Think about it kind of like as you're recording like a macro. That's the goal. It might be a long time still until we get there, but I'd love to do that. Gotta keep going on these phones. Survey pop, watching ads with automation. What? $1 an hour? What? Yes. So, Mike, I have tried that. You just need to get invites. That's the hard part. Is eventually you run out of invites. You get like 3 invites on account. Thankfully, I had 3 Helium accounts prior, so I had 9 invitations, and then I have my whole family on there. So then I got those invitations. But yeah, I was able to get some of the phones running on the free plan of Helium. Oh, it makes $1 then capped. Yep, that's how that works. You'd be balling if it made that. Holy smokes. Yeah, for a second there, I was like, I'm prioritizing the wrong thing. No one's. True. You're still locked into the $5 per month for life. I have one, but it's not like my main number that I got. Also, that's so cool. I didn't know. So you can give invites on that plan. I have it on a different phone because I had to go to Miami to get that. You know what I mean? I'm still blown away. Joker, was it you that said, or somebody came in here earlier and said that somebody was running 200 geonets? I think that was passive income, actually. It just occurred to me that it's like $1,000 a day. That's super cool. Off GeoNet. But I think you should hold GeoNet. Like, they're doing community burns and all the other stuff. Yeah. They're doing community burns and all the other stuff. What in the world? CoinSense is more like mining. It cashes out instantly in Coinbase. Super low earnings. Do you need an account for that? Like, could that be ran, Stacy, at scale? Like, say you have 100, 200 phones. Does it scale easily? Does it, like, limit you per IP as well or something? Oh, dude, 10 cents a day. I don't know why I'm not doing more of this stuff. Like if you had 20 phones, you know, yes, some have 1,000. I gotta be doing this. I have to be doing this. 10 cents a day per phone, potentially. Even if it was 5 cents, it'd be amazing. Wow, actually. Wow, dude, I'm sleeping right now on a lot of this stuff. I appreciate you coming in and saying that. Seriously. I'm kind of blown away, actually. The owner is like 5 ad providers. Dude, Mike, I know, right? Like, I was missing out on something, obviously. No emulators and no VPN. Wow, dude. Okay. Alright, I'm sold. You sold me. CryptoSense. Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, cheers there. That's mind-boggling to know. All cash out instant to same Coinbase email. Is Coinbase the only cash out? I got some beef with Coinbase a little bit. So you just need a Google. So different for each device. Okay, so I'd have to get a ton of emails. I used to have a good method for that. Unless, do you know a method for that? Maybe you do. You can do direct wallet. Okay, okay. Wow. What am I doing right now? Like, I'm still putting these on the wrong way. Yeah, yep. Airplane mode, the old airplane mode trick to refresh an IP on data. Got you. I forgot about that. Yeah, so what he's saying is you can kind of DNS release your new IP or an IP every time you hit airplane mode on cellular data and then turn it off and you connect to cellular again, you'll get a new IP. So it can be very handy for certain situations, of course. Alright, we're still running out of phones here, so I guess I'll pick some of these now, which I don't expect to work. Because I don't think I have them set up all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get them really quick. Target. Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Another set of 20 in here. On a few phones, it's like cents, but more for PayPal cash outs. Over time, then do a factory reset, but it's unlimited. So, can you run both at the same time? I'm assuming you can. So, can you run CryptoSense and then Happy Donut? I'm assuming you can. Because, like, I'm obviously missing out on a ton of revenue. A ton of revenue if these things are like that. Like, I don't even want to. I gotta do the math now. I have to do the math now. Wow. Yeah, that's significant, actually. Only Real Rush Daily. I make new accounts every day. Cash out my $1. It takes me 2 days to reach. Oh, dude, that's not bad. Okay, 1 sec. I'll be right back. Sensor Stride is full screen access. Okay. Ah, shoot. That was my bad. Again. I was trying to say, so the auto clicker for devices, I can probably do that, and I can do the Python for sure. So, I mean, if you want to hop into the Discord that we have for Cellhasher, and kind of let us know what could use automation, I might be able to test it and see what we can do. So that way, like, eventually it could be really hands off. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to pull up the software here. Eventually. Well, actually, I'll pull it up right now. So 3 devices we have connected. Yep. I go through all these settings here. Stay awake, OEM unlocking, turn off automatic updates, USB debugging, wireless debugging, and device ADB timeout authorization. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. We're cooking. Bunch more phones to go. Visible wireless for your 6 SIM cards? Yeah, what do you pay visible wireless per card? Like do they have different data plans? Do you pay for like a smaller package, or like can I ask that? You willing to share? Visible, $25 for unlimited. Okay. That's pretty good. That's actually pretty good. Um, so when you do your visible wireless plans, you said those were on S20s. Did you buy those like full price, or were they came unlocked and you bought them secondhand? I think that's what I remember you saying. Truly the only provider that's actually unlimited. Okay, so like all high speed unlimited, not just like. Wow. Okay, yeah. So you definitely want like not capped unlimited, right? It does suck that a lot of other companies do that. Oops. You only buy used phone flagships ones. Makes it cheap. The locked ones are only for crypto cents. I gotcha. I gotcha. No, I like it, dude. I like that you're doing unique stuff and that it's like different, you know, because there's a lot of people who interact more on like the mining side when they realize that they could potentially hit on over into the more of like the ad space, that side of phone farming and other methods that you even said. It takes some work sometimes, so I'm hoping that the software eventually gets to a point where it works for both demographics well. Because I do have a large farm myself, so dude, no, Discord, unfortunately, that is not uncommon. It's quite common actually to get all those messages from scammers, sadly. Yeah, just about anywhere too, though. Like, there's a lot of stuff in that, in like X DMs, so Twitter DMs, even Telegram's full of it. I mean, even the comment section of a lot of YouTube videos too. It's full of random things these days. Bunch more phones to go for these settings. Oh yeah, dude. If you go hardcore into phone farming, that a lot of people don't get, because when they say phone farming, a lot of them will think, oh, you're mining. But if you do that method that you're talking about, it's crazy. Like, it's it's kind of unreal because like, and I feel like there will be a lot more stuff like that in the future because everybody has mobile phones, so a lot of companies will design it to be around mobile phones, right? So that's the bet that I was taking when I created my phone farm, that that stuff would begin to happen more and more, and sure enough, there's a lot of different things now. And like just today, like there's a few things that I haven't even heard of that you were doing, and I have a big list that I try to write everything down in. It's really good. It's fun too. Like it's different. Like it's a good talking point because like it's not very a common thing to do a phone farm, but it's kind of cool, in my opinion. Oh man, I don't know if I did the settings right. System developer options. Okay, I did. You were, yeah. I mean, shout out to you. 75 hours is a ton every week. And then the phone farm is your hobby. I'm kind of in that same boat, but it's have it now has turned also into work a little bit. But I do enjoy it, thankfully. Normally, because I have other people doing this stuff, but my friends laugh at my posts. Oh man, imagine that, right? I can't wait until more games take on the "we pay you" role, or at least give you control of like your assets. Like you grind hours in a game and you get like a legendary item, right? That's in your inventory. I wish you'd be able to freely trade that better, kind of like CS:GO skins a little bit, but you know what I mean. seems to react my flashing, but it does not get past the Samsung sign. I'm close to giving up on the AO3S. Man, I know we've been working at that, Boris, for a long time. I'd hate to say that it's a bugged AO3S, but perhaps. So that is a possibility. Do you have the blue plug that we gave you that was in the packaging at all? It should look like it should look something like this here. Oh, that's interesting. Not sure why Discord loaded up there. The potentiometer. If you have that blue one, the original power supply comes with this this white one. That's gonna not focus, of course. But the blue one will let you go lower, quite a bit lower. I've been able to get it, and if you don't have that, let me know and I'll send one to you. But we've been able to get that working right around, like, the AO3S is right around 4.35 volts. But then some people actually that lived in Thailand have a different version of the AO3S over there, and theirs was going around 5 volts. Yeah, no, Stacey, that's the interesting part is not a lot of people, right, but not as passive. So there's the give and takes. It's more so like they can set it and forget it. But I do think like you said, just go for it with all the other stuff. If you work hard in your phone farm, like if you had, I'd say 100 phones, you could probably end up making what do you think, 30K a year if you went hard phone farming on the other side instead of mining. What's your take on that? Boris, yes, in the bag. So you're going to want to replace that in the power supply. So let's see here. In the power supply, you'll have it right up. I'm going the wrong way. Right up here, the blue thing is where we have it. So we actually already replaced this one on this power supply. But that's what you'll want to do, is you'll want to take that other one and then put that one on there, like solder it to it on the power supply. Unfortunately, like, yeah, that sucks because it's a little bit more work and it's not ideally what people want to interact with. But some phones require a higher voltage or a lower voltage. So that's why you have the option and you just have two different parts. But it's not as scary as it looks to solder it on and whatnot. See, this is why, Stacey, I'm so pumped about the just how AI agents and stuff are getting, as well as just like automation. Eventually, you will be able to, but it won't work for long because whoever gets it done first is going to be able to scale so much faster. That's crazy. Yeah, I forget about the facial verification. Something like Pi was one of those that you end up having a KYC with facial stuff. Island makes an emulator on the device. Do you see a lot of people using like BlueStacks and stuff for that? Or does like those apps know that BlueStacks being used and they just don't allow it? Boris, okay, I'll see if we can do that. All right. Yeah, give that a go. I apologize that it's been that hard to get that AO3S running. But try 4.35 volts on the other one. There's also, you can get like a USB thing that you can plug into your phone, and it will tell you the voltage of your phone, so you can see what it is on like startup and stuff. Dang, misplay, you can make $10 on a device, but start facial stuff randomly. Yeah. Yeah, I was curious your take on the emulators. Like, do people do it for those other stuff, or do apps like normally know if you're using an emulator or not? I would assume they could figure that out potentially. Maybe not. Just making sure I got that connected. Sorry. I was struggling there for a little bit. On misplay, you use physical auto clickers. Okay. So they do have a way to tell for the emulation stuff to an extent. That's cool. Okay. So close. Just gotta get through these other phones quick. Trying to get through these options quick. If you have time or devices, Givey makes a new app every day. Most make 10 cents in an hour, capped at 30 per day per app. I'm gonna have to break that down again later and figure out how that works. Huh. Yeah, it's not, that side of phone farming is not my expertise, but I know people do very well with it. Always allow. Always allow. Give you apps, he just clones his app over and over. That's a fallback set of apps for me. Give you apps are kind of passive start, then walk away. One ad sometimes. Huh. Alright. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah, wow. We need to get you in that Discord then. You got a lot of good methods. Yeah, I gotta bake some of that automation into the software for other phone farming. That's crazy, actually. Yeah, I feel like I could potentially write a script for that as well. I'm hoping. Okay, this one had that setting enabled. Let me just check again quick. Awesome. Last phone in this bunch. Oh, shucks. Wasn't ready. No. Okay, we'll just do this for now. Put that on that stack. So we'll have 19 phone connected. Should. 19, perfect. Let's hard remove the apps on them. Well, first let's do this. Oh no. We're gonna get the glitch. We're gonna get the glitch. we got the glitch. Oh wow. Okay, so I need to click this. Hard remove. Get that going. And run that real fast. Wow, dude. I just read that message. You automated and did 30 in an hour. So the thing to do is delete an app on login and login. It's cumbersome. Yeah, 100%. It could be automated. It really could. Wow. Alright. Those should be coming online. Make sure that we have that. Let me run this. Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna call her here. Maybe I'll come on in a little bit later. I'm gonna go eat, and we'll see if we come back and work on more. But we got 2 boxes done. Well, after that code runs, 2 boxes will be done. 40 phones. It's good for a little bit. Yeah, 39 cents an hour to real world is peanuts, right? Compared to various mining is a small fortune. 30 cents an hour over the time. Yeah, I feel you there. Sounds good, Stacy. I'll see you in the Discord. I love the stuff that you're doing, man. No, super cool. Super cool. All right, catch you guys later. We'll do this again. It was good to talk and work. I liked that.